Me here on the Super Morning Show on Joy 99.7 FM. That was riveting reports there by Justice Bailey. You heard him speaking to women who are developing poisonous breast milk as a result of burning heavy metal in the Agbogloshi market. I have with me in the studio Eunice Mens, who has researched into the contamination of breast milk via environmental pollution, specifically heavy metal. And Eunice, good morning. You did work in the Agbogloshi market.
Yeah, good morning. I did.
Great,
Yeah.
great. So, I mean, you are a nutrition and public health specialist. Yeah, so Eunice joins us with sort of the grounding or the fact-based backing of some of the reports that Justice has done. In the first place, what did you find on your own when you were doing this research?
Okay, so what I did was to collect breast milk samples from women living in the Agbogloshi slum, and I was looking to find out heavy metals, specifically lead, mercury, arsenic, and nickel. What I was doing, I wanted to find out the levels in these breast milk if they were to the acceptable WHO limits. So that's what I was looking to find out.
And what are those acceptable limits?
Okay, so I have the acceptable limits, WHO, if I should give the limits for lead, arsenic,
And mercury?
Yeah.
Okay, before we come to that, tell us simply what you found when you were doing this research.
Okay, so for me, for the very first day I stepped foot at Agbogloshi with my supervisor, Prof. Fobo, to introduce me to the people working there. The first thing I saw there at the e-waste dump site was smoke, and this was thick, dark smoke. And I tell everyone that after that first visit, I came back, I wasn't feeling too well, so I can imagine what the recyclers themselves go through every day. And what I did was to collect the samples and then send them to a lab for analysis of these heavy metals. And it was found that they all contained high levels of the heavy metals I was looking for.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what does that mean?
It means that definitely the women, they are exposed to the smoke, and the heavy metals definitely get into the breast milk through inhalation.
But how do I inhale smoke and then it enters the breast milk?
Oh, the particles are in the atmosphere. So once you inhale it, it gets into the bloodstream. Yeah. And then these heavy metals have a way of bioaccumulating in the body. So they get into your bloodstream. And for a woman who is lactating, obviously you enter into your breast milk also.
Okay, so what does it mean for the babies that consume the breast milk?
It means that they are at risk because the mother is lactating, the baby is also feeding on the breast milk. And they definitely need the breast milk to survive. And so these elements definitely enter into the baby's bodies, yeah.
And what are the babies at risk of when they consume this poisonous milk?
Mostly these heavy metals affect the central nervous system. Most of them will end up with low intelligence quotient, IQ. They will have hyperactivity, certain disorders. And because their bodies are not formed well, they might not end up to their full potential. There will be certain disorders, kidney failures and all that, yeah.
Okay, so when you went to Agbogloshi, you tested the elements to find the lead and arsenic. But what are some of the things you saw? What are some of the items that you saw being burnt in the market?
Oh, you'd see like old computers, scrap metals, you'd see your old phones, but you wouldn't see them in, like, they've been compartmentalized. Yeah, you wouldn't see them. And then they have different people working on different. So there's someone who breaks all those elements. There's someone who's working on the wire aspects. But mostly by the time I get there, they are burning. So I don't really see.
Okay, but these are basically household items.
Yes, that we use every day at home, that we dispose of.
Are these women at risk because of the higher concentration of these items?
Yeah, they are at risk. But all those in the vicinity too are at risk because the smoke diffuses into the atmosphere. So the market on the other side, you can they inhale the smoke also. But they are mainly at risk because they live very close to those places. They live in the slum very, very close to those places.
So for my listeners who visit the Agbogloshi market, who shop there on a regular basis, they are also inhaling these poisonous substances?
Yeah, I could say that, but for people who regularly visit Agbogloshi, the limits might not be as high as these who are always exposed because they're constantly living there, they work there, but maybe once a week you go, you'll be a little bit exposed to it.
Okay, so you are exposed, but not to the level of
those who live there, who work there, who are constantly in Agbogloshi.
What were your recommendations in your research?
Okay, so in my recommendation, whilst I was doing my study, there was a plan to build up a recycling site, so that it will help them in a controlled environment. Yeah, but I don't know if that plan has still been done. And then I recommended that the government and other stakeholders like EPA, the Ministry of Science and Environmental gets these recyclers because they need help. And they were telling me that if they get someone like help to build up a recycling plant for them, that would help them because they inhale the smoke too much. And then I know there was a bill that was passed some time ago, Hazardous Waste Management Bill, but I don't think it's fully implemented. And another thing too would be if it would be possible to locate the e-waste dumping site from Agbogloshi, because that place is a very busy place. It would be located to a much safer place, maybe somewhere in Tema where a factory can actually be put up for that purpose.
Okay, so it looks like your research is mainly focused on what can be done about the e-waste itself. What about the people who work there?
Yeah, the people. I know some time ago, government tried to evacuate some from the Fadama area, but there are still people living there, quite a number of people, and the conditions they are living in, it's deplorable. You can find a room and like 10 people with very poor ventilation. So if there's a way they could be evacuated from that place, because it's not safe. It's not safe for them and for the children living there.
Okay, you're still live on the Super Morning Show on Joy 99.7 FM. It's 10 minutes to the top of the hour. And we are speaking with Eunice Mens, who has carried out research into the way we dispose of e-waste in Agbogloshi, to be specific, and how that is affecting the women there. It's based on a report that Justice Baidu puts together. And it's a matter of concern mainly because, of course, you could be listening to us in Tamale and you think that, okay, this is Agbogloshi, this has nothing to do with us. But the matter of concern here is about how these regular household items, because when Eunice visited Agbogloshi, she saw mobile phones, she saw computers, and I mean, if you saw the pictures that Justice put out, you would see similar items. We don't have a specialized way of disposing of waste like this in the country. So can we then say that by our waste disposal practices, we are putting these lives at risk?
Yeah, that's true. And it's not, the e-waste found at Agbogloshi is not only from Ghana, if I should put it, because we import a lot of it here to be recycled in this rudimentary way. And then when the copper and those things they need for recycling are got, they send it back to Europe, China, and elsewhere.
So we are actually bringing them in on purpose?
Yeah, for that purpose, yeah.
Wow. It's very, very revealing, the conversation that we are having, and we will be speaking to Dr. Anthony Nsiah-Sarri. He is the Director General for the Ghana Health Service. What we'll do is that we'll take this quick spot of messages and we'll come back and speak with Dr. Nsiah-Sarri on the broad policy level, because a number of recommendations were made by Eunice during her research about relocating this e-waste dumping site, about these people themselves being relocated, and generally us taking another look at our e-waste policy. So we'll take these messages. When we come back, we'll explore these issues further with Dr. Nsiah-Sarri. Stay with us.
At Afrodan, we believe that many of the problems people have with their health is as a result of the way they sit. In other words, your chair can kill you. Here's Dr. Marcus Mann of the Chiropractic and Wellness Center.
What you have to remember is that the spine is the lifeline to your body, and posture is the window to that spine. Now, posture is affected by your daily activities and habits like sitting. That's why at the Chiropractic and Wellness Centers, we recommend what I believe to be the best chairs available for preventing not only subluxations, but also other health problems that you may not be aware of. And that's Rabami and Mobilex chairs. Unfortunately, on a daily basis, I have to correct the effects of this poor sitting habit in our businessmen and businesswomen. Always remember, optimal spine equals optimum health.
So, for the sake of your health, buy Rabami or Mobilex chairs from Afrodan. We are on the first floor of the Swansea Shopping Arcade. Telephone 663-085.
I am Dr. Acacia. Acacia gives your workers the best customer service and treatment options when the need arises, keeping them healthier and more productive for your business. Acacia Health Insurance. We place value on those you value.
Welcome back. We have on the line Dr. Anthony Nsiah-Sarri. He is Director General for the Ghana Health Service. Good morning, Doc. Thanks for joining us.
Good morning.
So, yes, are you aware, or is your office aware of this danger that is developing at, or has developed at Agbogbloshie?
Which danger are you talking about?
Women developing poisonous breast milk as a result of inhalation of smoke from e-waste.
Yeah, we are aware, and I think every Ghanaian has seen it. What is happening there, and it's a disaster which will in any time best on our faces. And yesterday, I think I heard your news talking about it, the research that somebody is doing, and all sorts of things. But the main problem is that in Ghana, we have to be very serious about environmental sanitation and make sure that things work and work well. And that's where the problem is. So we, in Ghana Health Service, we are aware. I watched your news yesterday, and I saw a lady who is doing a research into the levels of substances, metal substances in the extract from some women's breast milk. We will send our Occupational Environmental Health Unit to get in touch with the lady so that we see what we can do. But I think the Ministry of Sanitation, Ministry of Environment and Science, and the Ministry of Health and Ghana Health Services all come together and play some advocacy and make sure that maybe with the police and the other people, this thing should be stopped immediately. It is not only the inhalation. You see, apart from that, if you go to that area and you see the amount of dirt, amount of filth in the gutters around that area, of the settlement in that area, it is worrying for the whole nation, and you have to sit up. And it's not only Ghana Health Service alone. Ghana Health Service, our concern is our concern is the health of the people, but there are other agencies which should all join hands together. A Ministry of Sanitation, and luckily we have a Ministry of Sanitation, Environment and Science, and even National Security and the Ministry of Interior. We should all come together, and more importantly, the Accra Metropolitan Assembly. They have bylaws, and we have to let the bylaws work in this country. If laws work and people are punished adequately, then we'll be solving a problem.
Another matter of concern, Doc, is that most of this e-waste is imported, and so it goes beyond even human behavior. It's also about policy, is it not?
Yeah, it's about policy. You see, if the e-waste is imported or is exported, as you said, then we as a country should take a very good advantage of it and then make the maximum out of it, but not to do what we are doing now. Because what we are doing now is individuals who are exposing themselves to the hazards of e-waste and the implications. You see, if we have high lead levels in breast milk, it means we are looking out to see a lot of childhood cancers, and even the mothers, cancers. And cancers are very expensive. It will have a big toll on the health budget and the health infrastructure. And that's the reason why we all as a country have to get together, especially the media, who will have to make the announcement and let people know that they're exposing themselves to the hazards of e-waste. And I agree. I mean, when people need money, they will go to any extent to make sure that whatever will help them to make some few money for living, they will go ahead and do it. And that's what is happening. But I believe strongly that if the laws and the bylaws of this country are working, nobody can get near the place.
But the same laws and bylaws empower your occupational health and safety officers, as you said you would dispatch. You have known of this and you have heard of this in the past. What has been done by your office?
What has been done by our office is what I'm doing with you today. We cannot go there and arrest the people who are there. We cannot go there and ask people to leave. But we will tell people, we will tell them what is happening. We'll give them all the hazards, all the implications of exposing yourself to such a e-waste hazard. But there are other agencies who are directly responsible for this. And that's why I say it's a concerted effort of not only Ghana Health Service, but everybody, including the media.
Thanks, Dr. Anthony Siasari. We have to take for joining us. He is the Director General of the Ghana Health Service, and he was joining us this morning on this conversation. We have to go for the Joy Business Minutes now. We'll be right back. I just saw a publication here, and it's dated 29th August 2018. It's captioned, "Government to build e-waste recycling facility in Agbogloshi." And the President Akufo-Addo here is quoted as saying that the construction of an integrated e-waste recycling facility at Agbogloshi, a suburb of Accra, will commence in October of 2018. We'll look a bit closer at this and find out why it has not happened. Stay with us.
Welcome to the Joy Business Minute.
She's Karen, I'm Daryl, and in the news.
Accounting firm PricewaterhouseCoopers (PwC) has closed on some branches of defunct Heritage and Premium banks. PwC, the receivers, have also asked staff to step aside for a while.
The Electricity Company of Ghana would from this morning have new managers for the next 20 years. This is after Power Distribution Services secured its business license from the Energy Commission to begin operations.
The Dubai Chamber in Ghana is promising to assist players in the textile and apparel industry to tap into the almost $4 billion Dubai garment market. The move is to help the local textile manufacturers explore alternative markets for profits in the wake of challenges facing the local industry.
And Huawei has sought to repair its image in the US through a full-page advert in the Wall Street Journal, which says, quote, "Don't believe everything you hear." In an open letter, Huawei invited US media to visit the firm to clear up misunderstandings.
That's your update.
We'll be back at 3:06.
Bye.
Hello, Ghana. I believe that all Ghanaians deserve good health. Good life is about the everyday choices we all make to prevent illness and allow us to enjoy good health and peace of mind. I'm Rebecca Akufo-Addo. I believe and support the Good Life campaign from the Ghana Health Service, and so should you.
Good life. Live it well. It's an everyday thing.
Good life, live it well.
Since inception, almost 100% of Ashesi University students have found jobs, started businesses, or gone on to graduate school within 6 months of graduation. From Accra to Nairobi, London to New York, Ashesi graduates are noticed and they are leading successful careers. If you dream of a rewarding life and career, an Ashesi education prepares you for just that. Learn more about applying to Ashesi at www.ashesi.edu.gh. Remember, admission is ongoing.
If you buy gold, you will save money. Because gold lasts longer. If you paint your house gold, it will shine brighter. Because gold withstands all the elements. And gold protects you from microbial growth. And it's washable. And contrary to common belief, gold comes in every color your heart desires. So, invest in Gold Premium Acrylic Paints the next time you want to paint your house. Highly washable, long-lasting, with a wide range of products from acrylic paints to enamels, primers, stuccos, and more, all engineered to the highest international standards. Protect your home. Invest in gold.
Oh. And you know, my claim is not covered by the insurance policy I arranged.
Parkwesi, I've always advised you to let J&J Insurance Brokers the insurance professional handle your insurance to avoid gaps. At J&G, we analyze your insurance needs, we arrange cover with the best insurer with a track record of prompt claims payment, and above all, we facilitate and negotiate your claims. Call Dr. Gideon Amenyedo, the CEO, on 0244 333335 or 0504 333335. You can also email him, Gideon, at jnginsurancebrokers.com or visit our website, jnginsurancebrokers.com.
Thank you very much, Egenam. I'm calling doctor right away.
At J&G Insurance Brokers, negotiating a great insurance deal is our business.
Some things give you a key to open doors that don't exist yet. Some things take you a step into another generation, and there are only a few things like that. Samsung is giving you one of such things. The new Samsung Galaxy S10, a future-packed phone with a first-of-its-kind intuitive camera that will let you capture things beyond what the eye can see. So much battery power that you can actually go beyond and share power. A borderless infinity display that will give you a view into the future beyond. It's time to go beyond this generation. All with one phone. Celebrating 10 years of Galaxy innovation. Make that leap with the Samsung Galaxy S10e, S10 and S10 Plus. Pre-order today and get yourself a free Samsung Galaxy Buds. Terms and conditions apply.
Hello and welcome to the MTN Weather Report. I'm a dry. This year, whatever your needs are, we're there for you. Now the details of my weather report. 15,000 cities will blow from the intertropical boundaries across the country. We can also see a mist of fog patches of 25,000 cities and a heavy monetary downpour of 30,000 cities move to treat the dry season across the country. Now, ladies and gentlemen, everywhere you go, whether it be school fees or akasisem fees, we're there for you. Rent advance, salary advance, there's sorting advance because with MTN, we're there for you. Now keep talking, browsing, texting, and sending Momo to accumulate points and win prizes each month to cushion you this year in the MTN More For You promo. 80 dial *120#. Now check your points. We're there for you everywhere you go.
Everybody make us see you do the dance. Do the dance.
Coffee in your cup and Joy on the set. The Super Morning Show is always the best bet on Joy 99.7 FM.
Seven minutes past 9 here on the Super Morning Show. Enjoy 99.7 FM. My name is Daniel Jazzy. I'm here in the studio with Eunice Mens and Enimwa Enimado. We are talking about the fact that 40 to 50 million tons of e-waste is generated in Ghana annually. 40 to 50 million tons. That could feel like a whole stadium. And this is waste that, when it's being disposed of in the ways that we do, is dangerous to our health. So Eunice has been able to establish through her research that when nursing mothers inhale this waste, this smoke, it affects their breast milk so that it poisons their children who drink their breast milk. Charlie, how serious could this be? And with 40 to 50 million tons generated annually, you wonder, is it the one that is in your backyard? When you're using your mobile phones, when you're throwing away your computers, when you're giving away scrap metal, are you making sure that it's disposed of safely? How are we doing that collectively as a country? We understand that there was supposed to be an e-waste recycling facility at Agbobloshi itself in October last year. We've been trying to reach the Ministry of Environment, Science, Technology and Innovation for hours, trying to get them to speak on this, particularly the EPA. It's been a bit difficult, but we continue the conversation with you. Before I get your messages, Kingdom Books Stationery is offering you a 30-day credits facility with no interest charge. We deliver free within Accra, Tema and surrounding towns. So call us on 0302 764 101 and 762 307 or visit kingdomgh.com. Kingdom Books and Stationery Limited, your number one stop shop for all office essentials, stationery and furniture. Now, do you know that fire insurance for public places such as hospitals, schools, restaurants, fuel and gas stations, the list goes on, are compulsory just like motor insurance? Speak to J&G Insurance Brokers, the insurance professionals, for advice. Be a good citizen by obeying the laws of Mother Ghana. J&G Insurance Brokers, negotiating a great insurance deal is our business. Call Dr. Gideon Amenyedo, the senior insurance consultant, now on 0244 333 335 or 0504 333 335. Remember, there's FA Cup magic that has been brought back to DSTV. The best leagues in Europe like EPL, La Liga, Italian Serie A from live and in HD from Supersports, the home of football, wrestling, boxing, car racing and tennis. There's also Ghanaian and international content like YOLO Season 2, Heels and Sneakers Season 2 or God Friended Me. So get connected. SMS DSTV to 1731 for a fully installed Zappa HD decoder with 2 months complimentary DSTV access for 199 Ghana cedis, or call 0302 740 540 or 0244 740 540 for more information. Terms and conditions apply. DSTV. Feel every moment. 10 minutes past 9. Anyone has your messages?
Yes, this one says, good morning. Please ask Eunice if those of us working in air-conditioned offices around Agbogboshi are also at risk. Patrick says, in Ghana, we need a contaminated land management policy that would treat the whole cause and effect of not only e-waste, but all waste. We're a joke. This research has been undertaken long ago and our leaders know, but they don't care. And this one says, Dan, this burning thing is a serious one. Oh. There's a place very close to Apenkwa Basic School at Accra here. This is the place where there are lots of school children.
Thanks for your messages. 0244340437. So Eunice, she had a question. One of our listeners had a question about air-conditioned offices. What's your answer?
I think it's a possibility. I can't state for fact. It could also depend on the location of the office, how far it is from the e-waste dump site, and how far the smoke lingers to that place. But it's a possibility. Once you're in that vicinity, you could be exposed.
Aside from Tema says the problem goes beyond just Agbogboshi. The e-waste also contains certain heavy metals like cadmium that enters the soil when it rains, and that's how these heavy metals get into our food chain when we grow our crops. So it's not only the inhaling of the smoke, but also other heavy metals contained in the e-waste, aside from Tema. There's also an issue of how water which flows from them is disposed of. I have a friend who tried to have a farm in the Western region, and when he started the farm, he tested his products and he realized that he can't export them to Europe because most of the soil there is contaminated with mercury and cyanide from Galamsey and legal mining companies, and so he had to move to the Volta region.
Export them to Europe, but he can sell them here.
We don't have enough standards.
Because, I was going to say that because there are no standards to check. I mean, even when you drive along Jowlu and Abeling Bay and some places like that, you see a lot of small farms and they're growing vegetables and stuff. And even, I think, at some places in Agbogboshi, if I'm not mistaken. And so you can imagine that if there's water, then it's not such a far removed problem for those of us who would say that we don't actually go to Agbogboshi, because it's funny, but Agbogboshi is kind of like the center hub for food, and so all the food that is coming down into our some supermarkets, but the vegetable sellers by the roadside where we buy our stuff is all coming from there. Also, the food that we eat, we're buying wache, we're buying mache with salad, we're buying vegetables, we're buying all those things, and all of that is exposed to this. So this is really a major problem. The other thing is when we started to talk about it, my mind first went to the possibility of substituting breast milk for formula, which in the short term would prevent children from getting, these diseases or being exposed to these metals and stuff. But Daniel, how many people who are working and living in that area can afford formula?
It's like you were in my mind when you said that.
Yeah, and formula is expensive. I think last time I checked, which was a long time ago, maybe about 30 cedis, 35 cedis for a tin of formula. And if you have kids who are eating, like they're eating to survive, then you're going through maybe 2 or 3 tins a week. So that's easily 75, 80 Ghana cedis for just formula for one child. So when breast milk is free, that there really is no advantage to that. And so we really do have to look at it very, very seriously. Also because of the fact that regardless of how good these formulas are, breast milk still is the preferred choice, especially for the first 6 months of a baby's life.
WHO still recommends that mothers breastfeed even if they have levels,
formula.
They still breastfeed,
yes.
even if there's still contamination in the breast milk.
Yes.
Per my readings and research,
because the advantages will still far outweigh
the formula.
Yes. So it's really scary, Daniel, and I'm hoping that this won't be a story of we know what's going on, but we're actually not going to do anything about it. Like one of our texters said, about the fact that there's a lot of research that has been done. Apparently, Professor Otiaji of the University of Ghana has done a lot of research on the e-waste problem, but according to Prodeo Leeds in England, he said we're just a concept people and we never act, and Dr. Ansiasari did say, his first statement was, we are aware. So moving on from there, we are aware, but what next? So
especially since, at that point when President Akufo-Addo spoke about the construction of an e-waste management facility, he was launching the National Integrated E-Waste Management Program last year on the 29th of August 2018. And if you look at the pictures on My Joy Online, you see some beautiful model, of a nice building. Looks like the National Cathedral, if you ask me. Like a nice building, green. And this is what we want to build. Of course, I know that it's going to be very expensive to put a facility like this at Agbogloshi. But where have we started? Because we're supposed to start in October. Justice was there coughing away when he did that report. No indication whatsoever of what is going on, which is why it's very important for the EPA to speak to us. Unfortunately, we are not getting them.
But we'll keep our eyes on this story because it is very important. I can't remember the exact name of the town, I think it was in Korea, when they had a situation like this. And for generations after, children that were being born had birth defects, had neurological issues and stuff like disorders and stuff like that. So we can't, kind of just say, this is a one generational problem, because
no. I mean,
it's definitely going to transcend. Definitely going to transcend. And so something to keep our eyes on, definitely.
Yes. And you see, when we are calculating, and of course you are the public health specialist, Eunice, when we are calculating life expectancy, we look at susceptibility to some diseases. And so if you are giving birth to children who are consuming breast milk, putting them at risk of certain diseases and failures in some part of their organs, that means that our life expectancy, which is currently around 65, is not going up anytime soon, is it?
No,
exactly. The disappointing thing again is that the National E-Waste Management Program is also a job creation drive. Because the Finance Minister, Ken Ofori-Atta, told us in a presentation of the 2019 budget that this e-waste management program will create 20,000 direct jobs.
Some of the NAPCO fellows who are sitting in offices and are not particularly doing anything could be assigned to to tackle some of these problems. I mean,
Okay,
with the right infrastructure in place.
I don't know about what he was talking about, but let me read this quote from Mr. Oforiatta. He said, the program will lead to the creation of over 20,000 direct jobs through the establishment of a national e-waste recycling facility, which was supposed to start in October. Remember, Mr. Oforiatta read the budget in November. So he said, through the establishment of a national e-waste recycling facility, associated holding centers in each regional capital and collection centers in each of the 216 districts at the time. Now we have about 254 districts. So again, it's one district, one collection center.
But Daniel, we're such a visionary people. It's beautiful how we make these, beautiful statements and laws and hopes and dreams. But before we even get to the e-waste, Charlie, plastic, the recycling is a problem. I mean, before you even up it to this complicated recycling of electronic waste. I mean, so it's kind of like, are we trying to fly before we even begin to crawl? And I guess we would have some assurance if we were crawling or if we're kind of even walking in a walker. And then we know that, okay, we could possibly fly. But,
well, we are being told that when we passed Eunice referred to this, the Hazardous and Electronic Waste Control Management Act.
I saw it. 27 something.
Yes, Act 917 in 2016. It says what? The Act marks the initiation of two key provisions of the Act, which are critical to the successful implementation of the new law. Construction of the integrated e-waste recycling facility at Agbogloshi is also underway.
It's underway? Maybe they've cut this out.
No, what are you laughing at?
Because I haven't seen any.
Maybe they've cut. They may have a ceremony that we missed.
Because Ms. Oforiatta said the integrated e-waste management program has been launched and will, among other things, ensure the management of e-waste in an environmentally sound manner and turn the challenges of e-waste management in Ghana into green business opportunities.
Wow.
And again, we are going by the words of the finance minister and the president because we are still trying to reach the EPA. And so the answers we have now are the answers that we were given months ago. We don't have the updates that we are supposed to have. So I have more quotes for you from the president. Made on a Wednesday, the 29th of August, 2018. He said first is the designation of the external service provider. And he's talking about the two key provisions. Remember, I mentioned two key provisions of Act 917, which are supposed to, mark critical to the successful implementation of the law. So it says, first is the designation of the external service provider, i.e. SGS, to verify, assess, and collect the advanced recycle eco-free on all electrical and electronic equipment under the 5th schedule of Act 917 imported from all exporting countries. Second is the establishment of a state-of-the-art recycling facility to be constructed at Agbogloshi in fulfillment of Section 31 of Act 917. So interestingly, we actually put it in our law that we have to have a recycling facility at Agbogloshi. Interesting. If you're listening to us from Agbogloshi, maybe we missed something when we visited the place. So you might want to text us and let us know if you have seen it. Though I can say with confidence that in our visits to the place, we haven't seen any indication of that. But however, you may have seen that. Now, Agbogloshi is actually classified, I'm seeing, as the world's largest e-waste dump site.
Yeah, that's according to The Guardian. But then again, this was in 2014, so possibly could have been overtaken by some other site. But I'm looking at the pictures, and if you have a moment, if you go to theguardian.com and you just put in Agbogloshi, you should find pictures, if you haven't been there recently, of what's going on there. So there's the burning and there's the water body, and you can see computers and laptops inside of the water, and just really a lot of burning. And then you see, Daniel, there's another element to this. There's cattle that are grazing there, and presumably this is going to become beef on our tables and in our soup. There's children. It's a bit of a hot mess, isn't it?
Well, it's 22 minutes past 9. We raised this issue to make a key point this morning. You see, we can easily overlook some issues, but we can't avoid the consequences. But that's all the time we have for this. We are going to take the final words on this from Eunice, whose research has really opened our eyes this morning. And then we would have the Manifest in studio. If you know the Manifest, you know that they are the best a cappella group in the country. They are going to open Ghana Month for us with some beautiful patriotic songs. Eunice, let's have your final words on this issue.
Okay, as government has promised to put up a modern facility to help with the recycling of e-waste, we hope that we'll see something starts very soon so that recycling of e-waste can be controlled to reduce their exposure to heavy metals and other dangerous chemicals.
Thank you very much, Eunice. Anyone, someone has updated you. Someone who bought Formula more recently is telling you that it's 45 Ghana cedis 18. In fact, from 45 cedis to 260.
Yeah, I can imagine if you're buying Similac or SMA, you should be paying, because I remember I was paying in the 150s, 160s. So I can imagine that 5-6 years later, 260 Ghana cedis a tin. Yep.
Okay. On that note, we take some messages. When we come back, you'll be treated to some beautiful music from Manifest. Stay with us. This is the Super Morning Show. Enjoy 99.7 FM with me, Daniel Daze.
Ma, I'm going to the bank to deposit some money. I'll be back soon, okay?
Kofi, with all that has been going on, are you still going to deposit money at the bank?
Oh, ma, don't worry at all.